let's see. How can I make the most of my investments? So how do I invest? If I don't have any experience, like you said, a very small percentage of the population has experience in investing. So,
I mean, it's good to read a lot and stuff, but I'm going to be biased and tell you to hire a professional. Like if I went out and said, look, I want to be a pretty good tennis player, I certainly could say to you, come on, let's get our rackets, let's go out to the court and let's practice together. I'll bet though, if we got a coach or a trainer to teach us the basics of tennis, we probably get there much quicker.
Agreed.
And I really do believe in professionals. So if you don't know anything, get a professional, because otherwise you're going to end up hiring a professional a couple of years from now, cleaning up all the messes that you make, because it's even complicated for me. I mean, when I have clients come in, even to this day, after 30 plus years, they'll ask me a question. I'll say, you know what? I need to go look that up. I'm not sure. So there is a lot more to it than you think. But I will say this. If you don't know what you're doing in investing, and I'm not necessarily talking just retirement, but let's say you have a 401k at work, try to get a little bit from all the different asset classes. Get a little bit small cap, mid cap, large cap, a little bit in international. The bulk of your money would be large cap and balanced and some bonds, but really spread it out. And all the 401k plans have what you call templates, 20% here, 15% here. So just remember the growth category is the mid cap, the small cap, maybe growth type category.
Right.
Large cap is dividends. Just remember if it says dividends or heavy dividends, that's your large cap. And that's usually a good 30, 40% of your portfolio, because large cap just plugs along. And, it's not as wild as the other. It's never the best. It's rarely the worst. It just kind of plugs along in the middle. And then get a balanced, or get one of those, I'm going to call them lifestyle funds, where they'll have a year of when you think you're going to retire, and you could throw your money in there and they manage it for you.
Right.
That's a good way to do it too.
Yeah.
But it's funny, when I talk to clients, it's not always about getting the investment portfolio, even though scientifically I know how to do that. I'm trained. Most of our conversations, and I'm not exaggerating, 75% of my time is talking about, hey, should I put more money in my 401k or should I pay off a debt? What about the student loan? Should I be paying off the student loans or should I pay off this credit card debt? Do you really think I need this much money to put down on a house? Do you think I can afford a house? How are your cars? Do you think your cars? And so splitting your money up into categories, now money, which is emergency, the middle is intermediate, and retirement, that will help you too. So retirement's really, really risky. You don't need your money for at least 10 years. You go ahead and go into growth type of things.
Right.
Emergency, you're not generally going to invest. You don't want to lose that in case there is an emergency. And the intermediate, you can kind of do maybe a conservative or balanced portfolio.
Right. Right.
So, but how do you know? It's hard. I don't know how people would know unless they read up or ask somebody, to be quite honest.
But you're right. Hiring a professional, really, like you said, a money manager, somebody that does it every single day, and really understands the ins and outs and can make those recommendations, is so critical. I've had used somebody pretty much all my life, and when I was young, I did invest in my own mutual funds back probably in the late 70s.
At least you did it. At least you did it.
Yeah, I did it. And of course, that money all went into a house then, that all blew up with kids and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But I will tell you that, again, I think it's so important. And, a lot of parents don't teach their children these things.
Well, they don't know either, to be fair.
Right. And so I think, again, just hiring somebody that's a professional.
And don't be fancy. Don't try to get fancy.
Right.
If you are going to do individual stocks and you're, just having a little bit of fun, don't make that a big part of your net worth.
Right. No, my husband and I have a couple of stocks that we watch for fun.
It's fun. Yeah.
It is fun, but we're also not, that's a little bit like, to me, going to the casino. So it's a little bit of a gamble in the money, depending on where you're putting it. So if you enjoy that, you want to do a little bit of research, like we just have had some fun with it. It would be cool. I wish I would have invested in AMC theaters back in May.
Isn't that funny?
It was $9 a share. They're $58 a share today.
It's crazy. There's a lot. And I tell people too, beginners, I'll say, listen, mutual funds are just a basket of a bunch of an investment. So an average mutual fund, in case people don't know, is about 100 on average. They're all different, but I mean on average is 160 companies in one fund. So you're spreading your risk. You're still getting all stocks. If someone says, "Oh, but that's not the stock market," yes, it is. It's a basket of stocks. You're just not buying one. You're buying 160 in one product.
Right.
And that's what usually is what is in 401ks.
Sure.
And also, I tell people, just invest regularly. They call that dollar cost averaging.
Right.
And not to get into it, but I mean, if you take dollar cost averaging, you're always going to get a lower average price of what you're buying. And it's just a good habit to just invest, like your 401k, you invest in every time you get paid. Perfect. Why don't you just spin off your emergency and intermediate, and every time you get paid, some money goes into those two buckets.
Right.
Yeah. So
great advice.
That's just kind of basics, but it helps because if you just did that, you'd be pretty golden,
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Great information, Jill. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Oh, you're welcome. It's fun. It's good stuff.
It is good stuff. All right. Thanks.